This is the most important question of our time. I mean, oh my gosh. Wait. Let me think. Okay, so I have to explain this. Okay, so Linda and I first started seeing each other back in 1996, and she listens to modern pop music, and we'd be driving in her car, and the radio would say, you know, here in 1996, they would say, we play the best variety from the 80s, 90s, and today. I think, well, what do you mean the 90s and today? It's 1996. This is the 90s. What decade are they in? Now, fast forward to this year, and we're driving in her car, and the radio station says, we play the best variety from the 80s, 90s, and now. I thought, well, are they just going to ignore the entire last decade? Or, you know, or are they going to change their slogan to the best variety of the 80s, 90s, the 80s, the 90s, wait a minute, 1980s, 1990s, 1900s. No. What do we call the last decade? It's almost 2011. We got to figure this out. Now, I know you're thinking, well, man, you're the guy who's in the stuff from the early 20th century. Can't you just tell us what they did 100 years ago? Well, yeah, but they didn't have a problem then. You see, because they referred to the years as 1901, 1902, 1903, and thus the entire decade was the aughts. It was perfectly natural. They didn't have this problem. So we didn't say 2001 and 2002. We didn't even say 2001, 2002. We said 2001, 2002. But we can't refer to the last decade as the 2000s because we'll still be in the 2000s for another 990 years. So what do we call the first decade of the 21st century? We need to figure this out. It's almost 2011. We're going to have to start referring to the last decade as some sort of unit. So the only thing that makes sense to me, I mean, I always wanted to say the years as 2001, 2002, but I never did because you always hear it said 2001, 2002. And when we did say 1901, 1902, we kind of lost the word aught somewhere in the 20th century. And so we do say 01, 02, 03 when we refer to the recent decade years. So do we call it the O's? The O's? It's the ozone, I guess. You know, everyone born in that decade must be an osery, but that sounds kind of weird. But is there anything better? What would you call the last decade? The O's? The zeros. I saw somebody write that once, and I was like, what? Zeros? No, I don't think so. I don't know. My vote is for O's. What do you have? And if English is not your native language, do you have the same conundrum in your language? Or do you have no problem with it? I find that interesting. So come up with some ideas, some other ideas, or if you think O's is how we're going to refer to the last decade. Or do you want to bring back the archaic term aughts like they used 100 years ago? I don't know. Talk about it.